Hi friends, it's April and I'm getting close to my last frost date, which means I really need to get some of my warm weather crops started. I already have my tomatoes and peppers going, but my cucumbers, my squash, my watermelon, anything like that, I haven't started yet. I try to wait closer to the last frost date because they say that they don't transplant well, and so I just want to give it the best luck that it can to survive. And well, waiting for the temperature to be warm enough to start it outside gives me a very limited time to grow it where I live, so I gotta get it started right away. Welcome to my garden shed. It's April. My last frost date is listed as April 20th, and I don't see anything in the forecast that says it's going to freeze or even get that close to freezing, so I think we've already passed it, to be honest. I live in Western Washington. It's technically an 8A, maybe 8B. They just changed our ratings recently. And it's not what people think of when they think of an 8 growing zone. That just means it doesn't get that cold in the winter. We are very mild in the winter, but I'm also very mild in the summer. So a lot of these crops I kind of struggle with because it just doesn't get that hot here. It's like a lot of places in the springtime is already hotter than I'm ever going to get in the summer. It's usually a heat wave if we get into the 90s. Maybe we'll have a few days over 100, but not very often. Most of the summertime is even in the 70s. So not hot weather. Things take longer to grow here, so I don't do succession planting on any of these like warmer weather crops because really it takes a long time to get it going, much longer than the back of the seed packets say, so I gotta get them growing. So I'm just gonna go over my varieties and let you know why I'm growing them, have I grown them before, what I think of them, and I'd love to hear your comments of what you grow and maybe if you deal with the same type of problems I do, like the cool weather. So first I'm gonna go through cucumbers. This first one I've never grown before, but it specifically says it does well in cooler climates. So I usually look for things that say they do well in cooler climates or the days listed to maturity is smaller. You'll see that when I get more to the melons and some of the other stuff. So this one is the Ancash market cucumber. I've never grown it before, but it says grown in the cool climate of the high Andes. The cucumber is especially suited in cooler parts of the US and remains productive all season if grown on trellises. Well, I like to grow my cucumbers on trellises, so we'll see if the description is actually accurate, because really you never know until you try it yourself. This one I grew last year. Do I know how to pronounce it? No, I don't speak Japanese, but as you can tell, it's a Japanese variety, and I usually like the flavor of the Japanese varieties more, and so I usually grow at least one of those. They're just usually longer, more mild, less chance of bitter, and so this is one that I'm growing. This one, the Honey Plus cucumber, I've grown it before. It's kind of more smooth on the outside, and it's a really pale green or white. I just like it because it's slightly different, but it tastes like a cucumber. It's not anything amazing for flavor, I just like the color. This next one I grow every year. It's the Richmond Green Apple cucumber, and I just really like the flavor of it. I think it's pretty similar to the lemon cucumbers. Of the people I've given both to, they also preferred this one, and that's all I'm growing. I'm probably gonna plant like 2 seeds of each, and I don't pickle anything. I do like pickles, but no one else in my family likes pickles, so I really don't need a whole bunch of jars of them because I don't eat that many. But next I'll go through some melons. This one I grow every single year. It is not really a specific type. It's from Adaptive Seeds, which is a Pacific Northwest seed company, and it's called the Farthest North Mix. So basically these melons are, they're little. They're like individual size melons. They're green fleshed. It always tricks me because to me it looks like it would be a cantaloupe from the outside, and then I cut into it and it's green. But it is delicious. It's specifically the only melon that my daughter asked me to grow this year, so we will be growing that. I usually start couple plants inside, and then I also tuck some seeds in when I transplant them into the same area. I don't know that I really notice a huge difference. It just makes me feel better to start them inside. It takes so long for it to warm up. The long, cool spring is a struggle for growing these warm, weather-loving crops, but I keep trying. This next one is the Model Melon. Again, it's a green variety. It's small. I grew it last year. It tasted good. Any of these little melons are wonderful to have fresh right out of the garden. They smell so good. You know when they're ripe because you can smell them when you walk out there. And then I like cantaloupe as well. So I've got this one that's the Minnesota Midget Melon. It's small, which means it doesn't take as long to grow. And those are the varieties that I need here. I also really like watermelon. Watermelons are a lot harder for me to grow. This year I'm going to do this one, Janosik watermelon. This one is a Polish variety and it's yellow fleshed. It tastes amazing. I grew it last year. I probably only got 2 watermelons off of it. They weren't enormous, which is probably why I was able to get them, but you know, they were decent size. It wasn't a personal sized watermelon and it was delicious. So I'm trying again. Hopefully weather will cooperate and I can have some delicious watermelons straight from the garden. And along with that, I am trying the Wilson Sweet. I believe I grew this last year as well. I don't keep track as well as I like to think I do, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I grew and it was delicious as well and produced maybe 1 watermelon. So out of however many I plant, I'm gonna get like 2 to 3 watermelons, which is fine because it's a special treat then and I'll be more than excited to get it. Next, I'm gonna go with the winter squash varieties. So winter squash, summer squash, all those things seem to do pretty well in my area. I've never seen a squash bug, so I don't think they've quite made it up to where I live, but they're not too far away. So it could be a few more years and they'll end up in my area. But as things are now, they're not in my area and I luck out and am able to grow a lot of squash in summer and winter varieties. So I will be growing quite a few of them. Where will I put them? Not sure, but I always find room somehow. I don't like to plan out my garden that well. I'm more of a chaos gardener, I guess. It'll work out or it won't. So this one I have never grown before, but it is called the Strawberry Crown Squash. The description says it's kind of like brownish with the slightly strawberry colored at the crown. I just like trying different ones to see what flavors I like the most, and I honestly have no idea where I got those seeds, but I found them like in a closet, so might as well try them. They're a few years old, guessing I got them in a good deal or really cheap, possibly even free, because I don't remember purchasing them, and it was a assortment of a whole bunch of random things that I don't think I would pick out on my own. I do love acorn squash and it stores well. This one is a bush variety, which is not as common for all these winter squash varieties. Usually they're vining and take up a lot of space, but this one takes up the same space as like a zucchini would, but then I get a few acorn squashes, which I can eat later in the year. I love delicata squash. I don't always have a lot of success with it, and I'm not really sure why, because I have success with all the other kinds of squashes, but for some reason, I don't know if I picked the one place in my garden that's not going to stay moist or what exactly happens, but I haven't had a lot of luck with it, but I keep trying. So eventually this one is a hybrid. Hopefully it will help me be successful this year. I've grown this specific spaghetti squash. It's the Angel Hair F1 from Johnny's, and it did amazing. Like from the 2 seeds I planted, I probably got 30 spaghetti squashes off of it. I mean, we were just drowning in spaghetti squash, which is the best problem to have when I'm gardening. And then, you know, right next to it, something else doesn't grow. Now I'm going into the summer squashes. I always grow one of these more unique shapes. This is just a green tint patty pan squash. It's not one of the extra special ones, but they're just fun. I don't really notice a huge flavor difference from a zucchini, but that's probably because they're mild and I don't usually eat them raw. I usually eat them cooked and seasoned, and they're good either way. This specific zucchini I've grown a few times. It's a Pantheon F1 and it does amazing. So I'm going to continue growing it. It's more ribbed. It's not the smooth cylindrical shape that most people think of zucchini. It almost looks striped and it tastes really good. It does amazingly well, probably too well because, people get sick of getting zucchini, but if I don't pick it, I swear 2 days later, it'll be the size of my leg. And this one I've never grown, but it was on sale and I do like a good sale, especially when it comes to seeds. That's kind of how I pick out a lot of the ones I get is they're on sale, or the Baker Creek ones. I love looking at the catalog in the wintertime, which probably is why I end up with a lot of them because it's fun to look at and it's pretty. And if other companies sold catalogs as good as their catalog, I would probably end up with a lot more seeds from them as well. But this one is called the Zephyr F1. And what's fun about this one is it's not a yellow squash and it's not a zucchini. It's kind of like half and half. Green and yellow. My husband, of course, I was showing him what I was going to grow. And he was like, what's that variety called? Just the tip? Because yeah, it kind of does look like just the tip was dipped a different color than the rest of it. Next, I'm going to go over my pumpkin varieties. I do like to grow pumpkins, sometimes just for decoration, sometimes to make pumpkin bread or something, but I enjoy watching them vine and be crazy, and it drives my husband absolutely nuts because he's probably the person, if he was into gardening, he would want it very neat and orderly and organized. And for me, the wilder it is and the crazier it is, that just means it's doing great. And I feel like it's a huge success and it makes me happy. So we obviously have very different gardening styles, but he doesn't enjoy gardening. He only helps me because he knows it's a lot of work and he's not gonna go out there and disturb the chaos. So this first one I've grown a few years and I very much enjoy it. This is the Lil Pumpkimon. I guess it's an F1, didn't even realize that. But they're just those little tiny ones, but this one's striped. So it's a white pumpkin that has orange stripes down it where the ribs are. And it just looks really awesome and they're kind of fun for decorations on the porch. And so I grow that one every year. Then I'm just gonna grow a standard one that's called Jack-o'-lantern. My daughter is 11 years old and she still enjoys decorating them with me. Hopefully she will enjoy that for a lot longer, but for now, she does still enjoy it. A lot of times we just paint them, sometimes we carve them. Either way, I like to have some that are growing that we can do something with. This next one is the Rouge Vie de Tempe squash or something like that, otherwise known as the Cinderella pumpkin. This one's fun. It's very flat. I love the odd shaped pumpkins. I've grown this one before. It seemed to do well. I'm gonna try it again. And then this one's a new variety for me. It's the Porcelain Princess hybrid. So this one, it's just a different color. So that last one is very red and vibrant, and this one's supposed to be like a pink. And I think all the different colors will look nice on the porch. And if they don't grow and they're not super successful, I'm not going to be all that upset. It's just decoration. I kind of grow it off on the back of the garden, and if it's successful, I'm happy, and if it's not successful, well, you know what, not a big deal either. So those are all the things I'm going to be busy planting today. Thank you for sitting with me, going through these varieties. It's fun for me. I hope it's also fun for you. And I will see you again soon in the garden. Bye.